Hi, I'm Chris Kwan. I'm a storyteller and host of When Did You Know? I started this project as a 30-something-year-old single guy who had no clue on how to find true love in this crazy world. Join me on this journey as I interview couples that I've met along the way who were kind enough to sit down with me and share their stories of experience, strength, and hope. They come from all different walks of life, but have one thing in common. They're very much in love, and they live it day in and day out. Their stories show that whatever you've been through and wherever you are in life, that true love is out there and it's possible for all of us. So without further ado, let's do it.
When did you know? When did you know?
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the When Did You Know podcast. I'm thrilled to have my next guests here with me for today's episode. I have Ian and Logan. Thank you so much, guys, for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Just a little background. Ian and I go a long way back. I moved from Seoul, South Korea to the States when I was 5 years old. And one of the first friends that I've made and that, I'm so grateful that we're still friends, now. And he's one of my best friends was Ian. And, when he introduces himself, he'll kind of let you know where he was coming from as well. But we just happened to land in Houston at the same time. I believe it was a God thing for sure. And, I met Logan through Ian when they were dating. And so she's become such a special person to me in my life. And so, again, we're at their beautiful home instead of my one-bedroom apartment. So thank you for having me here. They do have some fur babies. I'll let them introduce themselves and their fur babies, who you may or may not hear throughout the program. And we're fine with it. It's all good. And before I turn it over to Ian, I'm just going to say we did not plan this. This is how close we are.
Yeah.
Plaid on plaid.
Yeah. I put this on first thing in the morning, and I did bring way too many outfits to Houston because I'm a little vain like that. But I was called to this today, and now I know why. So
I didn't get the plaid memo.
Yeah, but see, I've only known you, for a few
we're
years.
we're not connected.
This is like 30 plus, 30 years.
You gotta have the mind
friendship.
meld.
Yeah. So let's get to know you guys. Starting with Logan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, sure. Hi, I'm Logan. I am 31. 31? Yeah, that sounds about right.
We start to lose track after
exactly.
30.
After 30, I'm like, I don't know.
What is life?
I am not originally from Texas. Born in Kansas. I moved around a lot growing up. I'd say I'm mainly from Iowa.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So you're Iowa's gift to Texas.
Pretty much.
Right,
yeah.
sweet.
I've actually
Iowa.
lived in Iowa multiple times. So yeah. I am white and what's that?
Just white.
Just white.
Yeah.
Just straight white.
Well, I mean, like what ethnicity? Do you know? Like,
well,
what family?
fun fact, mainly German, but we can trace back to early Poland, which was called Pomerania. So I like to say I'm actually part Pomeranian.
Are Pomeranians, do you know if they originate from
I don't know.
that area?
I don't know if they're originally from there, but I just think that's cool.
Well, now they do.
Yeah.
Now they do.
So
you heard it here first. Okay.
Yeah.
I always used to say I was part
I love
Pomeranian.
that. Fun fact.
I currently am a project coordinator for a company that builds and sells cabinets and shelving, mainly for gas stations. But before that, I taught for 6 years. I was junior high English teacher for 6 years. So
that is not easy.
It was not easy. It was great, but
Nope.
Well, we'll have to talk about that. Okay.
Yeah, he knows that it was not easy for me. Definitely. It was great, but I'm glad I'm out of it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Great. Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
of
Thank
course.
you for that. Ian?
Let's see. So, I mean, you alluded to it already. So, I met you just after I moved from Columbia to Houston. So you were one of the first friends I met. You, Taylor, and Brian, the guys, the OG crew, man.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Taylor and Brian.
Yeah,
Love you guys.
absolutely. Love
Okay.
y'all. But we moved here from Columbia. In what was it? Memorial Fountains.
Yeah, Memorial Fountains Apartment. Shout out.
Yeah. That was a long time ago, but we've been able to stay in touch and stay friends ever since. I am not Colombian, other than I was born there.
Okay.
So, I mean, my family goes back to like Norway, Scotch Irish, French, Russian, all over the place. And
White.
yeah,
kidding.
white,
Yeah.
very white,
All right.
very
Different
white.
levels of that.
Yeah, different levels, I guess, maybe. Let's see here. I'm in software now. I'm a quality assurance engineer for Amazon. And I've been doing that for a while. I was a geophysicist before that, but I got out of oil and gas, man. That industry sucks.
So, from my research, I see that in a previous life, you may or may not have been a podcaster yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. The What's Good Houston podcast. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. We stopped doing that a few years ago, but it was a group of us, and it was just kind of a random thing. I don't know how I ended up being on it. I still don't. The group that I did it with, it was a bunch of guys that have known each other since they grew up on the same street and everything, and they've known each other since kindergarten or something like that. And somehow I got involved in their podcast, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah. No longer doing episodes. We'll see if I can convince them otherwise.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
goodness.
Logan said don't say it, but
Don't say it. No, don't do it.
don't
Maybe,
do it.
maybe.
Okay.
We'll
It
see.
was fun.
No, thanks, guys. And you have fur babies. You have 3 beautiful fur babies.
Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
absolutely.
They're somewhere.
Yeah, you might see them. I might have to get up and let
You
them
might
inside
hear
because 2 of them
them.
are outside right now. But yeah, we got Sadie, our oldest. She's around here somewhere laying down, holding down the floor.
I would say the most normal.
Yeah,
Very much most
She's
normal.
a people dog.
Yeah.
She loves people, not a huge dog.
No,
The other
sure.
2, they'll play. They'll play with dogs.
Yeah.
We got Whiskey and Stormy. Whiskey's the German Shepherd, and Stormy's the Labradoodle Bloodhound.
Yep.
And yeah,
Whiskey,
they're crazy.
shy.
Yes,
very shy. She
shy.
was our COVID puppy,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah,
she's a little nervous.
didn't get to meet a whole lot of people.
Okay.
And then Stormy wasn't until Whiskey taught her to be shy. She used to
Yeah.
be just like Sadie, like run up to everybody who comes in the door and best friends. But now she's the one who screams at you from across the house with her
She's just a mess.
loud
I'm just going to
bloodhound
say
howl.
Stormy's special.
Stormy,
Yes,
yes.
she is special. There's
Special.
not a lot going on in there.
She's a sweetheart, but she's very dumb.
There's not a lot, or there's extremely a
Yeah.
lot going
Yeah.
on. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
one of the two.
So-
Yeah. So hopefully, maybe they'll come by. Maybe we'll pick them up, and you'll get to see them. They're big dogs, so
Yes, they are.
we'll see. Well, let's just let's dive right in. Let's start with the the introduction, right? Like how did you guys meet? When? What was that interaction like? Who
It
wants
was
to
a
start?
lot of just serendipitous events.
I love that.
Honestly. I just moved
English
back.
teacher.
Yeah, I love serendipity.
I like that movie too.
It was
Kate
it was one of
Beckinsale,
my
John
favorite
Cusack,
movies.
Serendipity. Hey,
Dibs
shout
on
out.
Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, I love that. I love that movie. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just moved back down from Iowa. I had been in a previous relationship, and there's Whiskey.
There's Whiskey.
I heard her.
Yeah.
I'll go grab her.
Okay.
I was in a previous relationship that didn't end well, so I moved back in with my parents in Iowa for a year. Took some time, I was a professional baker for a year, which was
wow,
really,
yeah,
really
okay.
fun. Yeah, I loved that. And I decided, it's time to start teaching. I have my certificate, might as well. So I moved back down to Texas with one of my really great friends from college. And about a week into living down here, she was like, you know what? It's time. You need to get on Tinder. And I was not really that excited about it. I think Tinder was like a hookup thing. I wasn't
Sure.
really into that. But she kind of persuaded me to do it, helped set up my account. And then she set the mileage parameters to the same distance that her and her boyfriend were currently dealing with because he lived in College Station and we were in Montgomery.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, she was trying to hope that, I'd meet someone up there too so we could travel together. That's not what happened. So yeah, a week into moving back down, I met Ian on Tinder, and he was my first date on Tinder and my only date on Tinder.
Wow, 1 for 1?
1 for 1. I had a lot of conversations with people, but I literally never went out with any other guy.
So you're batting
So-
1,000. That is incredible.
I don't know if it's a Tinder fail or a Tinder win.
Shout out
but-
Tinder. Wait, they should have paid for your wedding.
No
Right?
kidding.
Yeah.
That
I
would have
think
been
so.
great.
Yeah.
Tinder, come on, you slacking, man. Dang. Okay, so that's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
So I love that. Part of this podcast, this show, the whole purpose is to capture all different kinds of stories, and I mean, the newest thing around, right? The thing that's changed the game is not just online dating, but these apps.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, you guys are, I think, like one of 3 couples that I know that have, met and gotten married off of an app, and so that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It was-
It can work.
It does
can
work.
happen. It can
Yeah.
happen.
Okay. Yeah. Ian, what are your recollections about that?
So I unfortunately wasn't so lucky.
It's harder for guys.
Yeah, it definitely is harder for guys.
Even good-looking guys. Like,
Like these ones, right?
Yeah, ignore the
here.
mustache. This is just for the month of November. I don't normally have a
I
mustache.
boycotted y'all.
Hey, look at that.
Look at
Stormy's
that.
coming up to you.
Stormy. Oh,
She's like, oh,
Stormy,
nope, you got
hello?
too excited.
yeah. Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
So anyway, yeah, I mean, pretty much what Logan said. Just swiping on Tinder, we ended up chatting. I sent her a GIF of a seal that kind of like rolled up and then
was
waved
his
and said
intro.
"sup."
Oh wait,
The
that was
sup
your
seal?
that was
That
your
was
intro.
That was
his
my
intro.
intro.
You Bradley Coopered it from Wedding Crashers.
So I mean, I never thought about it that
Wow.
way, but
And
yeah.
it worked.
Yeah.
So
It really
was,
worked.
Okay.
It was
It-
cute.
Wow. I love
Look,
that.
when as a guy, you can workshop different things, and the sup seal had probably the best
Oh my god.
opening
I feel
value, I'd
abused.
say. So
Well, for the single guys out there struggling with, what your opener is going to be in Tinder, if you have nothing else, try the seal method.
yeah,
Yeah,
apparently.
don't do the hey, you're hot.
the animal, not the singer. The seal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, the
singer?
singer
Yeah.
would have worked too.
Okay.
That would have been cool.
All right. All seals.
There you go.
All
Any
of
kind of
these
Any and
seal.
all seals for the people. Okay, so that's so good. That's so good because that is something that guys struggle with all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they'll
Absolutely.
try different things. Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I think that was it. So yeah.
How long did the convo go back and forth on
Not
Tinder
long. That
before
was-
like getting to the next stage numbers?
That
See-
was another Ian move, was that he did not want to talk long on the app because
Oh, and you
he
were like,
thought he was
"Oh."
going to ruin it.
You're like, oh my.
So, yeah, it was, like that next weekend we had our first date.
I mean, it wasn't like the second thing I said was, "Hey,
hang out."
let's meet for coffee," but it was.
it was quick.
I don't think of myself as the most charismatic person, and it's very
Oh.
hard to like
Right? Like he definitely
have like a text conversation with somebody you don't know, like because you can't convey a lot of different things. Like I try to be sarcastic a lot of the times, or like things like that don't translate well in
What?
text.
You
Yeah,
sarcastic?
What? No way, crazy, right? So it just doesn't translate well. So I'm like, all right, before I bomb this, I need to like get you somewhere where you can actually meet me face
get her
to
on the
face
schedule.
and get to know me as a person and not just some chat bubbles and not have a face with a name. So
Yeah.
So I mean, but like usually, I mean, I don't know how it works for everybody else. In my own experience, it's been like, you match, you chat, and then at some point numbers are exchanged, and you talk a little more, and then
I honestly
That's a date.
don't think we exchanged numbers
okay.
right away. I think we talked through Tinder. It's
It's
been a long time, guys. I
don't
honestly
remember.
don't remember.
How long ago? How long ago was this? 7
7
years?
That
years?
was
That was
yeah,
August of 2016.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Back before COVID, when the world was a
Normal.
Oh, yeah.
normal place.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay. So, where did you go on said first date?
We went to Thai Cottage. He wanted to see if, see, he does good, guys.
My boy knows.
Yeah.
My boy.
It was another test to see what the white girl would order at Thai food, because I was not used to Thai food. Growing up in the Midwest, we have casseroles, so we don't
who
have
could blame
anything
you?
fancy.
Kansas and Iowa. I
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
imagine there are very many poppin' Thai restaurants.
So he wanted
But,
to see what
Thai
I wanted.
Cottage.
Thai
Shout
Cottage.
out.
Thai
All right,
Cottage.
Super good.
Yeah.
It's a thing now. It's a
Yeah,
thing.
there you go.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Sorry. Yeah. But okay. Yeah. I love that place.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah,
It
so
was great.
for me, I love food from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Thai is one of my favorites. So like, it doesn't matter if I barely know you or we've been friends forever. If I find out that you've never had like food from this place or that, like this country or that, I'm like, all right, we're going here. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna try this. I'll order for you, and you're gonna just try this. And I know you're gonna love it because I love it.
Yeah.
And
if you don't,
and if you don't, then
You're dead
maybe
to
I'm
me,
gonna
yeah.
rethink our friendship
Yeah,
or something
okay.
like
No,
that.
that's
So-
literally been my favorite part of our relationship, is him like introducing me to food and trying new things, because
That's great.
it's been so great.
Wait, so did you order for her, or did
No.
she order? What'd you order?
No, like something like that. I feel like that would come off as super controlling.
Oh,
So,
yeah, true.
Oh, yeah, you don't know what
do
I
that.
like.
Yeah, yeah.
you
Don't
know?
do that.
Yeah, if you're my buddy, like, whoops.
Okay.
All right. So,
It's okay.
like, if you and I went somewhere and you told me, let's say, I've never had Indian food before, I'd be like, okay, we're going here. I'm going to order these things for you. Just pick the type of meat you want and the type of vegetable you want, and I'll order a bunch of different dishes, and we're going to do this family style.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you're going to try a bunch of different
That's
stuff.
love. That's
So-
out of love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, so you
now,
had
right
to-
now, he orders for me. I'll be like, hey, you know what I like, and he'll go
Yeah.
do it. But
Yeah.
originally, no.
Okay. So what did you order? Obviously, he approved.
I did
or-
not order the pad thai. That was the
Thank-
test. The test was to see if
Yeah.
I would order the most basic.
I mean, I'm not
I
hating
love
on it.
pad thai.
Yeah, you
don't
can
get
eat
me wrong.
it. Like, but I mean,
Yeah.
It's so basic.
yeah.
I
Just
don't remember
don't be
exactly
basic.
what I ordered, but it was really good. It wasn't too spicy. I didn't
Okay.
get spicy. I'm
All
not a
right,
spice
yeah.
person.
We eat
But-
enough spice for all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yes, you do.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
both
And
definitely
we'll
do.
talk about that too
Okay,
in a
great.
minute.
Yeah, yeah.
One of
I'm
our
excited, I'm
first
excited.
dates
Oh
for sure.
no.
So, like when you saw each other, obviously, there's a big difference between like looking at someone's best pictures or whatever pictures they upload versus like meeting them in person. Was it kind of like love at first sight, or like, oh my god, thank God he looks like his pictures, he's not a serial killer? Or
He
like,
definitely. I thought he looked cuter in real life than in his pictures.
Of course, look at my
Nice.
boy.
Well, because your pictures on Tinder, it was a lot of like traveling and different stuff, but it was also like different phases of you, I guess. So your face looked different on multiple pictures, kind of. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like when you walked in, it just felt comforting, and like you just, I don't know, you just like radiated excitement for being there. And I feel like on a lot of dates, the initial dates, the guys are more like aloof about it. So I don't know. It was sweet.
I'm
I
a
loved
happy
it.
guy. I don't know what to tell
Yes,
you.
he is, and he was hyped to share the food with you.
Exactly.
Nothing else, yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
excited to share something I love with somebody. So
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, for you, let's see. I don't know if I can remember how I felt, honestly. For me, at first, it was just another Tinder date because I love you.
Oh.
I love you. I mean, I'm
That's
glad it became so much
You
more.
ever said.
But like, I had been on so many at that point where it was like, I buy them dinner and then never hear from them again. So I
Yeah.
was like,
mean,
I was
yeah,
like,
that makes
I'm
sense.
excited for a date, but there's a good chance I'll never see this girl again.
Yeah.
So,
And maybe a lot of girls don't know that, but yeah, that happens.
Oh yeah,
It
that was
happens
not
a
my
lot.
It's
experience.
like
at
they're
all.
like, oh, what do I want to eat for dinner tonight?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've only ever dated like 3 people and then Ian. Like I never, went out. I was a serial monogamist. I
Okay,
did
yeah.
not. So yeah, I was excited, but that's because, I don't do it often.
So would you say you're introverted?
I'm very introverted until
Okay.
you get to know me, and then I'm just
Okay, and
crazy.
then you'll let your star
But
shine.
yeah, very
Extroverted.
introverted. I feel like it takes a lot to get me out of my shell. At least
Yeah,
it did at the beginning.
I think, for you have to be comfortable
yeah.
with somebody to be yourself around them.
Mm-hmm.
I think of myself as an introvert, but
I don't
nobody
at all.
believes
I
me
think
when I say
could
that.
open the dictionary and
All
look at
of us are
extrovert
like,
and see.
no.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, all you have to do is say something about some topic that I like, and we can be instant friends. And it's hard to get me to stop talking once you started me on something that I like. So yeah,
Fair. Yeah, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
I didn't speak the language. I was like, hi, and it was like, come here.
Yeah,
I'm going to
I'm
show
your
you
friend
these things.
forever now.
Star Wars, Bob Marley, Nintendo 64. I was like, oh. Yeah. Okay. So first date went well.
yeah. First
Okay.
date went well.
We shut Thai Cottage down. We stayed until
Oh,
closing.
I love that.
Yeah,
They're like, "Get out."
talked in the parking lot while everybody, like all of the employees left, and
It's kind of a dodgy parking lot, so that says a lot. Okay, I'm joking.
This
Yeah.
is the one in the
This is the
woodland. So
woodland.
yeah.
All right. I'm kidding. I was making a joke. Yeah.
yeah. So we stayed out for a lot of the night and then set up a date relatively soon after. I think probably the next weekend.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
no, it would have been a Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah,
For karaoke.
for karaoke.
Oh wow! You
Yeah.
guys really spoke for this. Now look at this.
Oh, now
So
you got a whiskey.
now
Now
whiskey's
look at
coming
this.
up to you. Look at that.
If you
You don't even.
if you
understand.
made me bet on which dog would come first, I would have completely lost because, or in what order?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
would have
yeah.
thought Sadie would have been first.
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sadie hasn't been over lately.
No,
Shy
Sadie's
whiskey.
laying down.
Yeah, whiskey came over.
Yeah, whiskey.
Crazy
good job.
Stormy.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I so
Oh, no, you're
wow. That's bold. I usually play it so safe, and I'm thinking maybe I'm going about the wrong
No,
way.
it was very bold on his part, and it was so cool.
So
Well, man knows he can sing though too. Right?
Yes, he knows he can sing.
Yeah.
And he did 4 songs on our second date. And I was like, wow, he's very into karaoke.
I'm gonna let Ian share.
yeah, so I mean, I'm not a huge fan of private room karaoke. I like the open stage stuff. So we
Mister,
went
I'm not
to
an extrovert.
My people and I feel personally attacked.
love-
So, but okay, go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with private room, but I prefer the open stage because
Sure.
it's more fun to be in a group, big room full of random people that you're never going to see again.
Sure.
And, you can make a fool of yourself, whereas your friends, if you're singing poorly in a private room, are probably going to give you a bunch of crap. And I don't know. To me, it's too intimate, right? So, but yeah, so for Logan, I was just like, you know what? Let's go to karaoke. Me and my friends. It was also, so it wasn't just the two of us. It was a group of friends.
Okay.
Yeah, I
which
met
is-
his friends on the second date.
Wow.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's kind of how I am because my friends are a huge part of my life. And so, like, I myself could not be with somebody that couldn't be friends with my friends.
Sure.
That would be very difficult for me.
Yeah.
So I have to I go all in. I'm like, hey, this is me. You either like it or you don't. And if you don't, then let's move on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I did. I was like, all right, here I am. I'm Ian. I do karaoke.
Yes,
here are
he
my
does.
crazy friends. And yeah, I mean, the rest is history.
That's beautiful. That's actually, I mean, I think that's like the best approach, right? Like,
It was a very fun night. We started at Olive Oil, the Greek restaurant, and we walked in and actually crashed a wedding.
oh
Yeah.
wow.
And then we went to karaoke. So it was a very interesting night for
Well,
sure.
don't forget the first part of the night when we first saw each
no.
other. So
Okay.
Logan, when we first met, was always super early to everything. So
I had so much anxiety, and I just have to be places insanely early in order to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
yeah,
And now being with you for so many years, we're not as early as we once were.
Eventually,
we're
stop stressing
usually
you out.
punctual.
Okay.
Usually, but so Logan got there really early and was jamming out in her car, taking a Snapchat of herself jamming out. What song were you listening to, babe?
Oh, it was Wilson Phillips. What song was it? It's a song at the end of Bridesmaids. I can't remember.
Okay,
Hold
well,
on.
We'll have to look it up. Hold on.
Hold on for one more day. However
Okay,
that song goes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
So you caught her.
rocking out in her car,
yeah.
recording a Snapchat for Anne Marie, I'm sure, and her mom.
Yeah.
And I just kind of stood outside of her door, and I was just watching.
Oh.
And then I just kind of like looked over, and she's in the middle, and she goes, and catches it on the
And I
recording.
throw my phone. I still have that recording saved somewhere too.
We're gonna have to see that.
Yeah, it's bad quality, but it was real time, and it was so embarrassing.
That is like a movie moment, like
Yeah.
straight
Oh, yeah.
out of a movie.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that was like super endearing for
It
you.
was,
yeah.
absolutely it was. I was like, well, I'm about to go make a fool out of myself at karaoke, so, at least now we're
Yeah.
kind of on the same level.
Yeah.
I did not join him for the karaoke.
You didn't sing
but
at the karaoke?
I
She
still
still hasn't
hasn't.
sung
What
karaoke.
do you mean?
I've done the rooms. We've
Ever?
gone.
Yeah, we've gone.
Yeah, we've gone.
Yeah.
You didn't sing?
But in
how much did we drink?
no, I
Dude,
sang.
yeah.
I sang
Oh,
in the.
a
I sang in
lot.
the rooms.
A lot.
I sang in the rooms. I won't do like the full stand up in the big audience.
Challenge
karaoke.
accepted.
No,
Yeah.
well, he's
Good
tried
luck.
for 7
Good
years.
luck,
So
buddy.
But I'm
Good
very
luck.
persuasive.
I used to tell him like I wouldn't do it until we got married, and now that we're married,
We've been
I-
married for a year this month.
a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, a year next.
Oh, I
next
can't
week.
wait
Next
to
week.
talk about the wedding too. It's such a
Yeah.
beautiful wedding.
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, so that's
So, yeah, haven't done
2
it.
epic dates.
Oh yes.
Yep.
How long was the courtship? Like the dating period? How
We
long?
dated for, was it a year or 2 before we moved in together?
Let's see here.
I don't
I
remember.
think-
It's been
Again,
a long
forgive us, it's
time.
been 7 years.
It's been
Yeah.
a long time.
I think it would have been maybe a year and a half to 2 years.
Yeah, I think it
Because
was
I lived
around
at
then.
Phil's for a year,
Yeah.
and we were dating that year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think about
Might
a
have been like a
year
year and a half or so.
Yeah, a year and a half.
So like any like really funny or interesting stories, any ups and downs, during that year?
I think the hardest part was because I was up in Montgomery and he was living down in League City. So like weekends, I would have to drive from work back to my house to get Sadie because she was my dog. When we first started dating, now she loves you more. but that's
Sorry.
fine. So like the distance was kind of hard, which is, I mean, I think I fought the most for us moving in together just because I hated the distance so much.
What's that drive like?
Well, on like Fridays after work, going through like all of downtown to get down to League City,
Oh.
it took, I mean, it would take an hour and a half, 2
Oh
hours.
yeah, I just made that drive.
Yeah.
I just got back from League City.
Yeah, so that was every weekend.
That's love.
Yeah.
That's love.
There would be days that I would spend the night and then drive straight up to go straight to work to teach in the morning. That was really hard.
Oh.
She was dedicated.
What
And
were you doing?
I mean, I'd go up to
What
see
was
her
he
every
doing?
once in
What
a
were
while,
you-
but it was more often than not she would come down
Yeah.
to stay with me at Phil's. Let's see another thing. So we kind of skipped over our third date.
Okay, let's talk about the third
when I
date.
learned that she could not handle spicy food at all.
Oh, this was
yes,
that date.
yes.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
so we
guys.
went to Velvet Taco. Is that when we went to HMNS as well? Houston Museum of Natural Science.
No, we did that with our chocolate bar date.
Oh,
was
that's
one of my
right.
favorites.
Yeah.
Solid date package there.
Yeah.
Shout
Yeah.
out.
Give me a chocolate,
HMNS
okay.
is awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we go to Velvet Taco. I forget what else we did that day.
I don't remember.
Because this moment was
Because
just
this
too priceless.
outshined it
And
all.
it really did. It really did.
I'll never live this down.
They used to have, they no longer have it, which makes me super sad because it was a delicious taco, but they had an ahi tuna taco that was like raw tuna in a lettuce wrap with these little red peppers and things like that and sesame seeds and like a teriyaki sauce. It was amazing. It was such a good taco. And I was like, you have to try this. And so I gave her a bite. And to me, this taco was not spicy at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe you if you told me it was spicy.
But at this point, I don't do any spice.
Yeah, she did not do
guys.
any spice. I look over, she had taken a bite, and I look over, and there's a tear streaming down her face. And I was like, are
It
you
was
okay?
Uncontrollable.
Yeah, and
I
she's
just
just like-
started, my face
Oh,
just
it's not
started
like you're a
crying.
great
No.
actress. Let me
No.
let one
No.
tear down.
Straight, just tears.
Just
It
tears
was-
coming out of her eyes. And I was like, is it spicy? I had no idea.
And
Like,
I'm over
honestly.
here trying to keep it together. Like, it's cool, guys. It's cool.
You're like confused.
Yeah, I
everything's
was
great.
confused. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I do not find this spicy
I'm a
at
strong
all. And
woman.
she is just, tears are rolling
Yeah.
down her cheeks. And I was just like,
How
it
did
was
you,
so funny, though.
How
It
did
was
you
so
survive
funny.
the Thai food on the first date?
I didn't go spicy on the first date.
She
I
went
picked mild.
Yeah.
Oh,
For-
okay. So
yeah.
you didn't like have a bite
No,
of what
I did
he
No,
not.
was
I
because-
think he offered, and I said no
You
because I'm
said
not
this is
super
the first
into spicy
date, and
food.
I'm a lady.
No,
Yeah.
I knew
Okay.
he ordered because at Thai places you pick the level.
Yeah, we
so,
just give
Yeah,
me
exactly.
give me the
I was
things.
like, oh, I'm not comfortable with that level,
Okay,
so I did
yeah,
not
yeah.
try his food.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but-
this is when you're finding out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So things had been going in your mind. You're like perfect girl, karaoke, knocked it out. No spicy.
No spicy. I was
Yeah,
like, well,
that
that's
was-
kind of a, that
Noted.
you lose some points
Yeah.
there, but
we've been working
Duly
on it
noted.
we've been working
throughout
Yeah,
the
7 years
years.
later, we're still working on
Well,
it.
that just goes to show, right? Like extrovert, introvert,
Yeah.
spicy, not spicy. You don't have to see
It's
eye to
the
eye.
olive
You don't have
theory.
to have the olive theory.
There you go.
Which from How I Met Your Mother, shout out.
Yep.
But also
One of my
for me,
favorites.
it's like the I don't like pickles or cucumbers. Yeah, I
Sad.
know, don't judge me. So it's like anyone, relax, relax. I'm not trying to marry you.
Pickles?
So it's like pretty much anyone
Yep.
that likes them. Well, good on you. You
Yep.
can have mine.
Yeah, I'll
You know?
take
Yeah.
your pickle.
That's
in a
the olive
non-creepy
theory, right?
way, yeah.
Ted's olive theory from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
I do one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
see?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so we've been working on spice, but I'm not to your insane level.
No,
yet.
yeah, definitely.
But
I
that's
don't think
also
I'll
why
ever be
he
there.
has me, his
Yep.
husband.
Yep.
So his Asian husband.
There you
No,
go.
so that we when we go to like Thailand or like to
Oh,
these
yeah.
hot sauce
Oh,
or
that
hot,
needs to
whatever
happen.
festivals. Yeah, you can
Yep.
record.
I will watch,
and we will.
and you guys can eat.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'll watch us.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say something that blow out our butts, but
Yeah,
maybe you
know.
don't want to watch that.
With older, it's very possible, but yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'll be there with
You'll
the
laugh
Tums.
while we're in the bathroom screaming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Taking care of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So yeah, anyone else want to help Logan take care of the two of us.
Yeah, swing by.
I'm still single. Okay, so that's a great third date. He was able to look past that. I'm sure
he was
thought
very
about it for a minute.
comforting while he was laughing at me.
Oh,
it was great.
Okay.
I wasn't laughing too hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he was just
concern as well.
He was confused. Yeah,
very confused.
It's not a normal reaction that I had.
Yeah.
While you're crying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thanks for taking us back to the third date.
Of course.
So you dated for about,
I want to say like a year and a half or 2 years before we decided to move in.
Okay,
Yeah.
you moved in together.
Yeah, we lived downtown for a year.
Oh, that's right, because we went to the Cubs Astros game.
Yeah.
All together, we walked. It was awesome.
Yeah, I loved the location of that.
Yeah,
apartment.
living in Ito was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Getting to walk all over the place. Sadie loved it because I'd walk her like 3 times a day, and
Yeah.
we'd walk around the Dynamo Stadium.
Yeah.
Whatever name it is now.
Yeah, it's changed names
I
like
don't
3
know.
times since
Yeah.
I left. Yeah.
But it was just really cool. It was awesome living down there, and we had a lot of fun down there.
Okay. So was living together very different? Any stories from that time?
I don't really, because before me, have you ever like moved in with a woman?
No.
Oh, so that's
Oh,
I had, but I don't think there was really like an adjustment period with that.
No, I don't think there was either.
shocking things?
No, it was kind of like we got an apartment. We went and bought furniture.
Yeah, we got
like
furniture
bedroom
together.
furniture and stuff like that. The entertainment system. Like
That we
the
see
center
here
that
now.
we see
Yeah,
here
still the
now.
same stuff.
Our bedroom furniture is still the
Still the
same
same,
furniture we bought. Like,
Love it.
I mean, yeah, I
Well,
don't think there was really an
I
adjustment.
guess you guys had like a pretty decent test run because she was coming over and spending the night so
Yeah,
much.
I mean, we'd stay a lot. I think the biggest adjustment was just because it was an apartment downtown, so it was smaller than where we were both living before. So it was more trying to figure out space for stuff.
Sure.
But you still had an office. It was a 1-bedroom apartment, but you still had your office.
Yeah, there was a study.
So there was still like an
that
area.
that was a great
It
apartment.
was a great
It
apartment.
was, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So now things are getting a little bit more serious. Ian, obviously, you're thinking about maybe is she the one? The proposal. Can we talk about? Let's talk about the proposal itself before we kind of talk about what the moment was like for you.
Never forget that proposal.
I don't know anything about this either.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just
Okay.
interested from the reactions.
So
I'll let you start it.
yeah, I'll start it.
How all the
So
good
I
stories
had a
go.
plan to propose to Logan before we went to Mexico for my buddy Michael's wedding.
Okay.
Him and Allison got married down in Mexico, and I wanted to propose for sure before we went on that trip. So I talked to Mikey about it and kind of came up with this idea that like, oh, we're gonna have them over for dinner before we go on this trip for their wedding and stuff like that to celebrate their marriage, and so that way we had somebody here to like take pictures and record
Sure.
and all that kind of stuff.
Well, but it made sense in my mind because you were the best man and I was the maid of honor. So it
Yeah.
was more of like we're gonna send our best
Spicy.
wishes to the
Yeah.
bride and groom. It was like the closest people last
That's
chance
cool.
before. I thought that was a sweet idea.
Yeah. So we had a dinner here. We had them over for drinks and dinner, and we were out on the dock, and they pretended like they had to go inside for something, and then they basically came in here, got on the couch, and just used their cameras to watch. And I was talking to Logan, and you can kind of pick it up from there if you want.
Oh, okay.
Because you were being,
I don't think she thinks that's
she
where
was
the
being
handoff.
super awkward about
I'm a
it.
very awkward individual, and it was weird because the day I don't know what it felt like, but we were out there talking, and we were taking pictures on the dock. You're like, oh, let's take pictures, and I'm like, that's weird. We're at our house. This is our dock. I don't know why we're taking pictures right now.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So we took pictures of
I'm
them.
not cute because Allison failed to get me cute for that day. So I'm in like
shout out
I'm in like workout clothes, and I'm like, I don't need to take pictures right now. I'm in workout
so
clothes.
it wasn't like you had a spidey sense of something
Not
was
at
up. You were
all.
just like, this is.
I was wearing Crocs.
Yeah,
He will never let
my
me
boy.
look down. Yeah.
My boy.
Yeah, so he's standing there and chatting, and he's I don't even remember all that was said.
Okay.
We were about to take a picture together, and I'm trying to remember what you said, but you were saying the weirdest things.
Do you really want me to say it? Because I know what it was.
Yeah.
America wants you. The world wants you to say it.
We were talking and you're like, I love you. And I'm like, I love you too. I love you this much. This is how big your dick is.
Whoa.
And then he pretty much like went to shut me up.
I was like,
He proposed by to shut me up.
I was like, okay, before you say anything else.
Yeah, before you say anything
ruin
else.
this moment further.
So I have a picture of us on the dock, me going like this, and that's not woohoo, we're engaged. That's me talking about his penis.
I don't know if I
ruin everything.
So after she said that, I was like, all right, I'm going to stop you there before you ruin this moment anymore. And then I got down on one knee and I showed her the ring and I asked her to marry me.
Oh my God.
And we will never forget it because he proposed on 9/11.
Oh.
That was not intended.
But I remember dates all the time, and I'm like, bruh, you proposed on 9/11. So we made up for it by getting married on Veterans Day.
Oh God. I don't even know.
Yeah, you hadn't
where
heard
to
that
start.
one, have you?
No, I hadn't. I did not know that, but that is
Welcome
so
to our
good.
great story.
That is so good. Wait, so like at no point right before you got down on one knee where you're like, maybe this is not the best time? You were like, because you wanted it to happen before Mexico.
I didn't want to do it in Mexico because I didn't want to take away
from our friend's
Mikey
wedding.
and Allison's wedding.
Yeah.
So from our friend's wedding. So I wanted to do it before, and that was like
The last
the
chance
last
to do it.
day we could have done that before going on this trip.
Yeah.
Because we were leaving the next day.
I feel like this is something that we should have talked about before.
No.
We needed your genuine
Yeah, we
reaction
needed the real
to
reaction.
this dumpster fire that is our life story.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Never
that's
a dull
so good.
moment for us,
I
for sure.
I was laughing from like,
Belly laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's such a good story.
So
My
wasn't
wife.
expecting it at all. But yeah.
But so now it's forever cemented.
Yeah,
9/11.
exactly.
It's
Yep.
official.
It's a good story.
It's yeah.
I do the Korean heart. This means I love you in Korean. It's a Korean heart.
Oh, yeah.
Now for you,
it. Yep.
I'm gonna.
Yep.
This is the heart.
This is
I
the
love
heart.
you this much.
I love you.
Yeah. That's
when we're
the
across
move, you
the
guys.
room in very serious situations, this is what I'm gonna do,
There
and
you
no
go.
one's gonna know. That's
Nobody's
just
gonna
so
know.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
Outstretched
Well,
hands.
except for anyone.
Yeah, now everybody's gonna know.
Everybody knows,
I
but-
apologize.
Yeah.
For
that's
anybody
so
watching.
good. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh,
course.
yeah.
You can't write that.
No.
you can't,
No,
you
you
can't
can't
make
write
that up.
No, keeping it awkward since
People would think that was
1992.
fake. Yeah. Oh, that is so good. I'm so glad we talked about that first. Okay, so we're going back in time a little bit, and again, this is kind of like an individual thing. So I guess I'll start with Logan, ladies
Okay.
first. When was the moment? Was there one where you knew that you wanted to spend the rest of your life with Ian, or at least kind of started to think about that?
I really don't know. I've thought about this question a lot because I
Okay.
feel like I should know that moment, but it was very...
Well, sometimes for people, it's not a singular moment.
Yeah, it was, I mean, we lived together for what, 4 years? No.
Sixth grade math right there coming
5
out.
years before we got married?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were,
Yeah.
I mean, we were already cemented, I guess,
Okay.
at this point. We had dogs. I mean, Sadie's loved Ian since,
Yeah.
she met him, and then we got whiskey together,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, it's already been like a this is it. I mean, I think it was more of a this is it moment when we bought this house. Like it just made sense, I guess.
When did you start seeing him as more than just like another boyfriend? Like
Relatively early on. I don't
Okay.
think I ever. He was the only guy that I've ever dated that I've never had to be something different for. I feel like, especially as an introvert,
Yeah.
like my immediate reaction is I'm trying to please you. I'm trying to, oh, you really like this? Let me get into this kind of thing too. So
Sure.
that way, we can bond. But it always turned more into like me morphing into who I was dating and like losing myself from that.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we started dating, him liking spicy food, that's not something I can fake. Like adding ain't gonna work for me.
Sure.
So it was really easy to be myself with him. And I mean, I found it was myself super early on in our relationship trying like not to say I love you because it came on really early in our relationship.
Who said it first?
Me. I still said it first.
How long ago? How long into the relationship?
I made a trip for spring break. We went out to Fredericksburg. And I planned, like an overnight thing. We got this hotel and I ended up it was coming out of me in almost like anger. Like I was so annoyed that I had to say it first. And so I'd hit you on your chest and stuff like earlier when we first started dating. I'm like, I just want to say it, but I don't want to say it. So yeah, I said I love you first. I asked him to move in first. I did a lot of the firsts. I just said I wasn't gonna propose. That was the one thing he had to do something.
Yeah, you got to do something. She's driving all the way.
Exactly,
She's saying, "I love you first. Let's move in."
Yeah. So I feel like I knew really early on. There wasn't like one moment that made me know. Okay. And my last relationship, I was engaged too. So it was one of those.
Wow.
Yeah, it was one of those. Never thought I'd do that again. I don't want to go through, the hell I went through with that.
Yeah.
So, but it was so different.
Would you say, is it fair to say that like it was good to have that contrast too, like between
100%.
how you felt, like you were kind of more sure the second time?
I feel like my engagement ring, my first round was like a choker. Like it felt so constricting the entire time it was on my finger.
Yeah.
And like being with him, with Ian, it's never felt like that. Like it's always been more comfort. It's been stable. It's been so much better. So yeah, I knew
big,
early
right?
on with him. Yeah,
It's so big.
No, okay.
I mean, it is a plus.
Well, so hey, it's a PG family program where I thought it was gonna be. So Ian, when she said "I love you," did you say it back, or did it take you a while? How did that all work out?
Yeah, I said it back, and that wasn't actually the first time you said it. So
it's the first time he heard it.
Yeah,
so
the first time I heard it.
Apparently not.
So she told me
the
this.
story.
I didn't catch
okay.
it, but the first time that Logan actually said "I love you" to me, I was over at her house in Montgomery and it was Logan, her roommate Anne-Marie, and myself all hanging out in the kitchen.
It was my birthday.
It was Logan's birthday, and you were sitting on the floor with Anne-Marie.
I was a little inebriated.
I'm a floor person. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed. Floor people are
cool. It was late in the evening. We had a good time that night, and I asked you for some water because I did not feel like getting up. I'm sitting down on the floor. I'm chilling, and I asked you for some water, and you went and got me some water, and I said, "Thank you, I love you." And then I looked at Anne-Marie like, did I just fucking
She heard it?
that? She heard it.
Oh, okay.
He didn't hear it.
Okay.
I didn't catch it.
So I had said it really like a couple months into dating. It was
months.
It was like 3 months.
Like 3 months into dating, and I was like, oh no.
Oh,
so
wow.
I waited again. I think I waited another 2 months before I actually said it.
So you and Anne-Marie definitely talked about it.
Oh yeah.
Afterward.
Oh yeah. She knows all of the things.
Okay. All right.
She probably knows a little too much.
She probably knows a little too much.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool, and I can't believe I didn't ask that when the first "I love you" was. That's such a critical moment. Okay, so that's kind of Logan's side of things.
Yep.
Ian, was there a moment in time, or how did this happen for you?
For me, there was not like a single moment. It was just a lot of different things that added up.
Okay.
So like I said before, my friends are a huge part of my life. I would not be able to have a life that I have. I would not be able to have a happy life without my friends being a part of it. And so the fact that Logan was so cool, hanging out with my friends, and they became friends with my friends.
They're cool people.
And that
shout
really,
out friends.
Yep, shout out friends. The effort that you put into things, so we talked. I used to do a podcast as well. We would record at my friend's house, and Logan would come over and just sit on the couch while we recorded for hours, 3 or 4 hours.
I would fall asleep.
just to be there doing something with me, even if she wasn't directly, interacting with me. So that was a big thing.
Which, sorry if I could, while you're thinking of other things, we were talking off air, and the other fellas on said podcast already had their kind of girlfriend wives, and they weren't involved.
They didn't
That's
make
true.
out. They didn't come out
They
as
didn't
much
make
as
out?
I did. Well, you don't need to know.
Make
about
it
They
out.
didn't make it out.
Make
they
it
didn't.
out.
They didn't come to a lot of as many recordings as I did. For sure.
Yeah, so that's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I was just thinking about how, like she just was supportive and wanted to be there. Okay, sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're good. Let's see. It was just like little things like that throughout. Well, that was a big thing, but like also little things throughout our relationship that just kind of made me go like, yeah, she's awesome. Why wouldn't I want to marry her? I've a lot of friends that have gotten married, and so we'd go on bachelor parties and stuff like that, and we'd go to gentlemen's clubs, and while they're all getting blown up by their significant others, Logan's just chill, like didn't care.
Hey, I'll go with you. That's fun.
Like I never had to worry about anything, and she didn't have to worry about anything either. It was just kind of we trusted each other, and we knew that we weren't going to do anything stupid, and so like it just worked, and it was awesome.
Trust. What is that? No, I'm kidding. Wait, so like, the more I do of these interviews, I'm almost kind of like, I shouldn't have called it When Did You Know? Because it doesn't seem like it's like
There's
a singular
not really a
moment in
moment.
time. I mean, some people will tell me that, this like first time I saw her, or like, but like, I think it's a beautiful thing that it can, that it's a collection of moments.
Yeah, it really does build.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you guys close with each other's families? Like meeting them, was that an interesting thing? Were you guys afraid?
Yes. The funniest part was the first time you met my family, right? Was the first time you met my family was when I made you come to Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yep.
he came to Iowa to stay with my family for the 4th of July. We do a big thing for the 4th of July when we lived up there. And so yeah, that's how they met him. Was I just brought him for a week. So they kind of had to like him if they were,
Yeah, and then he just turned on that charm and
Yeah.
probably left that trip though, like, hey, leave him here.
Exactly.
No. There's
No,
no way.
no, it was really fun. It was a great time. Good bonding experience.
Yeah.
And I definitely know more about your family, so I can only imagine, but yeah.
Yeah. That it definitely didn't start close, I think, but you warmed
I
up to
feel
my
like-
family. My family's not everybody's cup of tea. For
No,
sure.
I feel like our meetings were a little bit different. So
Yeah.
I think that had a lot to do with it too. But I feel like it really cemented my attachment, I guess, to them.
That's beautiful.
So
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
And I've seen you guys, obviously I haven't met your
yeah.
family, but I've seen, all of you guys together and kind of take, a backseat and see what the dynamic is like. And I think it's very beautiful how you guys support them and like kind of support each other too, in that
absolutely.
situation.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, anything you want to add on like kind of like the when each of you knew, because I mean, we talked a little bit about it. I feel like I kind of cut y'all off and we went on tangents.
No, but maybe revisiting just one other thing.
Sure.
Another story
do
from
it.
like our dating.
I love it.
I'm so
let's go.
scared. He's got that
'Cause-
face.
Tell me all the
Because
stories.
we
He's got
talked
the
about
dimples.
we talked about the proposal and how that went, and Logan's reaction was surprisingly like nonchalant, kind of like you were excited, but like
I didn't know how to act.
yeah, you did. You were you were surprised.
I was very
you were
caught
very
off
caught
guard.
off guard, and
Yeah.
you didn't know how to react. And I thought it was going to be more of a reaction like our first Christmas together when I went up to Iowa for Christmas to spend time with you and your family up in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
For that Christmas, I bought Logan a KitchenAid mixer, which she was dying for. That was like the number one thing she wanted.
Is that like
so-
a grown-up easy bake
Well,
oven? What is
backstory
that?
to it. So one, like I was a baker when I lived up in Iowa, but also I always had this idea of like when I'd get married for one of the registry things, because KitchenAid mixers are expensive, that was going to go on the registry.
Yeah.
So I was so excited, like at some point in my life, I'm going to get this really nice mixer. And on like our first Christmas where you were up there, he got it for me. So
Okay.
I was not prepared for that.
So she like was so happy she ugly cried
Oh no.
that
Oh.
she like got it halfway unwrapped, saw what it was, and then like cried
it meant
uncontrollably.
so much to me.
And then
yeah.
I was expecting that kind of reaction for the proposal because of how bad she wanted to get engaged.
Nothing.
And that was not-
like, it was like a cool. Like,
I just talked about your dick. Cool.
cool. There's a ring on my finger.
It was, yeah, I don't know. My reactions to things are weird. I think I cried like the first time you put Christmas lights on the house too. I
You
was
did,
like
yeah.
ugly cry. I don't know. I have moments.
How early on was this Christmas?
Oh, that first, it would have been the second Christmas we were
The
dating.
second Christmas, yeah, we were dating
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
the first one we didn't celebrate Christmas together.
Okay.
So that would have,
Yeah.
like a
So, like,
year and a half into
yeah.
dating.
Do you have footage of the ugly
Of course
crying?
he does.
You
I
do?
have pictures.
Oh, I thought you had a video.
I think I have a video. I'm not sure.
I don't know. But
I'd have to
there's still-
check.
yeah.
They get a final approval of whatever's put out, but if it's approved, I will put it like right here, like in the video. You know, you'll be able to
the
see it.
picture.
All right, there you go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I'll give you video pictures for sure. I'm not sure if I have a
And
video.
the video
Yeah,
of
yeah.
me freaking out singing in the car.
That would be great.
I've got
That would be
too.
great. We could throw that on
Yeah.
when we're
I've
talking
got that.
about it.
We've got all of the evidence.
I need to hear, like, if there's any other stories, you know, where, like, when you bring it up, she's like, oh, or like laughing. Like, let's hear them. You know, that's just so good.
Oh, they're
Absolutely.
so crazy.
Yeah. As they come to me, I'll for sure.
Okay, I
Yeah.
mean, just you know, we're almost at the close of it, so I'll just kind of, you know, continue on. If you think of anything, I'll be happy to stop. So I kind of like to wrap up the show, right? Obviously, I wouldn't have invited you guys on if I didn't feel like, as a single guy, you know, that is looking for something, right? That you guys kind of have that, right? This like special relationship where you're very much still in love after 7 years together. What, like a year and a half, 2 years married?
Year
No, almost
this
a
month.
year. Oh,
year
So
this month.
A
Wow,
year
yeah.
in like a week.
Next
yeah.
week, next Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So happy early anniversary.
Thank you.
I still remember the wedding very well, and apparently
Fun
because it
times.
was a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago.
One of the most unique weddings I've been to, I'll say, hands down.
was very fun.
Correct me if I'm wrong, it's the original Hobby
Yeah.
Lounge Airport.
Yeah, it was
The original
Houston
Houston Airport.
Houston Airport, yeah, okay,
it's the
yeah.
1940s Air Terminal Museum now, but it was the original airport for Houston.
Yeah, I mean, it was so cool.
It was very different. We've been to a lot of weddings, so there was stuff that we knew that we did not want.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have any bridesmaids. That was one of the things that I just didn't want to deal with, and so we didn't. Yeah, we
Do
had a
your
lot of
own
fun
thing.
stuff.
I love it. Yeah.
We had a giant pizza.
Oh,
That
was-
yes.
That was
The
a great
giant-
time.
Giant
pizza.
pizza. I mean, I remember walking out because, you know, this was like well into, like after dinner.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we
we're
had plenty of
well into
food.
the thing. And I walk outside just to get some air. And it's like,
Yeah.
What are they setting
I
up?
ran inside. I was like, hey, there's a giant pizza.
That was a
And Taylor was
surprise
like,
for both of us too.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, we
I was
didn't know
like-
about it until that night. It was a surprise for my mom because one of the episodes in Gilmore Girls, Rory makes
Shout out Gilmore
Lorelai,
Girls.
one of my other favorites.
Yeah.
Rory makes Lorelai a giant pizza for her birthday.
Is that? Yeah, I
And
didn't-
so mom wanted to get me the giant, like the biggest pizza in the area, and so that was kind of the thing for it.
No lie, I probably spent like 30 minutes talking to the guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what you do for a living? I was like, how did you set this
Oh,
up? I was
yeah,
like,
he was
I'm in
awesome.
the wrong
Yeah,
profession.
right?
Yeah.
It was
Like-
so cool.
It was so
took-
cool.
I think it took 6 or 7 people to load the pizza on the tray into the oven.
Yeah.
Because of how big it was.
Yeah.
It was wild.
I just the setup. I mean, just the venue itself was beautiful. There's like planes outside of it. There's a museum inside
Yep.
with a bunch of historical stuff, and I loved how like the seats for the family were the like.
Oh, the original seats.
airport
And actually, I don't know if you
airline
ever heard
seats.
this story, but in the room that I got ready in,
Yeah.
they actually had like the vanity that I sat and got ready at. It was Elizabeth Taylor's vanity. Back when she
Oh,
would
wow.
fly in for movies and stuff through Houston, you know, they didn't have air conditioning back then, so she needed to come back
gosh.
and reset her makeup.
Uh-huh.
So they put a vanity back there that's Elizabeth Taylor's vanity to
Wow.
get ready at every time they came in, and they still have it. It's the original one. So I actually got ready where Elizabeth Taylor did.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's like once in a. That's
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was a really cool
Yeah.
venue. And I, originally when we found it, they were not booking up a lot. Like I would have thought they would have been busy on Veterans Day.
Yeah. Oh,
when
yeah.
we got married.
Oh, yeah.
But
Veterans
yeah, exactly. Right. But now they're booking a lot more like weddings and stuff. So
That's great. And I'm sure I have some pictures I could show too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if I want to edit that in there. But yeah, like I love to end it with like some parting words of wisdom, whether that's for like the single person, the jaded person that's like trying to figure out, what is love, or like someone in a relationship that's trying to see if their current partner is the one, or like, any marriage advice, right? You've been married for a year. Any one of the three, it can be all three of them. Just kind of what comes to mind, whoever wants to take us.
do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
So I think there's been like a underlying theme throughout this whole thing, and for me, it's just be yourself. Don't
Yeah.
be who you think you need to be for somebody else, and don't try to make them be somebody they're not either.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
be yourself and accept your partner for who they are as well.
Yeah, I feel that there's a lot of like, I can change him. No,
Yeah.
you can't.
You can't change
You
this.
can like,
Yeah.
work on each other and make each other better. But
Yeah, you can
I've
definitely
never
like
tried to like change you.
Yeah, exactly. You can help somebody be the best version of themselves,
Yeah.
but you can't change who somebody is.
Yeah.
And so if you're constantly having to like be somebody that you're not to make your partner happy, then that's not going to be a happy life. You're
Yeah.
not going to enjoy doing that for the rest of your life. So just be yourself. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, you'll find somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had heard that about 15 years ago. But always better late than never. Thanks. I think that's perfect. I think a lot of people need to hear that.
Yeah.
Logan?
Building off of that, like, don't be afraid to be weird. I mean, I really, we're very weird in our relationship, and it just, I don't know, like humor is a big part of us, and I like, it keeps it fun, keeps it interesting.
Your Tinder profile said quirky AF.
It did.
And that's what I was expecting, and
That's what you got.
that's what I got.
Welcome to me. But also I think just because, I had a little different backstory, I guess, before we started dating with being engaged before.
Sure.
And like, I feel like with a lot of women, they just kind of get stuck in, well, he's with me. We're good. I guess it's okay.
The timeline.
Yeah. It's very much timeline. It's just, if it's not good, get out.
Yeah.
It was a really hard decision for me, and it was the best decision I could have made.
Yeah.
And
kudos for you to do that.
It
A lot
was,
of people-
it was really hard. There's a lot of a backstory there, but it's just, if it's not working, it's not working. And it's, just don't feel like you're stuck.
Yeah.
Because people get stuck in relationships. And if I would have stayed, like, I never would have met, my husband. So.
Yeah. And I mean, it is forever. It's someone
Yeah,
you might
it's-
raise kids with if
it's a
that's the route that you want to
very
go with.
big
It's
deal.
something that, and, the families and all that. Like, I mean, that's, I love that both of you, your, parting words of wisdom have to do with like vulnerability,
Yeah.
right?
I
And
think it's
just being
hard too when
authentic.
you're dating,
Yeah.
to try to reach to that level. But
Yeah.
once you get it.
I really do think that is so important. It's kind of the key to people actually connecting, because
Yeah.
it's exhausting trying to pretend,
Oh, yeah.
try to be something that you're not, that
Yeah.
you think that the other person's going to like.
And that's the best part of a relationship is I just feel comfort.
Mhm.
So, I mean, being somebody you're not, that's not comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, you should feel at ease in your house that is also his house. It's just
Yeah.
be yourself.
Well, I mean, guys, this has been so great. Thank you so much for being on the show and just being in my life. And I love you guys.
We
and
love you.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it half as much as I did. And we'll be coming back to you next week with a new episode, a new couple. So until then, right now it's Halloween. When this comes out, it
There
won't
you
be.
go.
But happy Halloween. And see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Wow.